Hello, this is Kimberly Tubaya. So this is part two of my series um, about my experience with postpartum life as like Justin's life as a first-time mom. But in this particular series, part two, I'll be talking about my experiences with going to the different hospitals. So I'm basically gonna start where I left off. So my fiance came home and we had to figure out a plan about whether to go to Upper Chesapeake Hospital or University of Maryland Medical Center Hospital because Upper Chesapeake is closer to us. We live in Harford County, so Upper Chesapeake is closer to us. And University of Maryland Medical Center is like almost about an hour away from us. So we finally decided to go to Upper Chesapeake Hospital because it was closest to us, and maybe they would see, um, they would tell me what was going on with me and stuff like that. So he called the ambulance. He called 911. The parent they tried to guide him on like how to deliver a baby in the case that I was already too far along where I would have to deliver the baby like at home. But luckily that wasn't the case, and the paramedics got there just in time. He got my bag, so he transported us to the hospital, and I was there only for an hour before they discharged me. They checked my cervix. They told me that I was only 1 centimeter dilated, and I could actually wait hours before um, I go into labor, and they told me that I was not in early labor or any type of labor, and they told me my water didn't break and that it was just discharge. Um, so unfortunately, they sent me my fiance back home. Sorry, that's my baby. But unfortunately, they sent me and my fiance back home, and even though they did that, like I was still leaking a lot. I was still leaking a lot. A lot of fluid kept coming out of me. It was like at this point, it was not no discharge or my biggest flood. It was actually water. Like my water was leaking and it kept leaking, and they sent me home like that. And I was only there for an hour. So with the hospital, I really didn't really want to go to the hospital, but because it was closest to us, we decided to go there anyway. So yeah, so we ended up going back home. My water was still leaking effortlessly. Um, and I was already 1 centimeter dilated. So basically, I was already in early labor, even though I wasn't like fully there. I was still in early labor. Um, so my fiance called his female coworkers, Wilsa and Tanya, and I also called my mom, and she told my fiance to make some hot coffee and put a warm washcloth on me to help calm me down. My boyfriend wanted to cook for me, but he couldn't focus in the middle of a video. So yeah, um, I mean, so yeah, my boyfriend wanted to cook for me and stuff like that, but he couldn't really focus to cook. So he gave me like, I mean, he fixed me a sandwich, so I ate that. Um, but he was really concerned about me and the baby, and I was also concerned too because like, why would you send me back home and my water is still leaking, fluid is still coming out of me, and you're telling me it's discharged and that I could wait for hours before I go into labor. Like, why would any pregnant woman who may go into labor would want to wait hours before they actually come to the hospital to deliver their baby? Like, that kind of sounds lazy on their part. Kind of sounds like they don't even want to go through like the actual labor and delivery process with you. They just want you to get to the point where you're already ready to deliver the baby, and that's it. Like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it should work. And it just shows that, and I don't know if they said that because I'm a black mother, or if they just in general just have a bad reputation in general, because they do have a bad reputation in general for not really, in my opinion, for not taking for not taking, I don't want to say for not taking your health seriously, but like for not taking your health seriously. So um so what had happened was my fiance's coworker Tanya ended up helping us get an Uber. So we already had my bags packed and ready to go to University of Maryland Medical Center downtown. And so we got an Uber around 12:09 a.m. and we ended up getting arriving to the hospital downtown around 1 a.m. And I went up to the labor. We went up to the labor and delivery department. I checked myself in. I was seen in no less than 5 minutes. It saw me in less than 5 minutes. There was a whole bunch of nurses, residents, doctors working together to help just yeah to help me figure out what was going on, or to figure out what was going on with me. So they did a lot of tests, which was um, did a lot of blood tests. They did a lot of pelvic tests. Um, but what had ended up happening was they really couldn't tell if I was in early labor or not. So the results they got back from my blood work and the pelvic exams was mixed, but they did notice that I was already 1 centimeter dilated. So they decided to admit me anyway in the case that if they sent me home, I might have been in like I might have been more dilated, so I might have been in labor. Like they didn't want to take the chance of sending me home if I was really in early labor. So they concluded that I was in early labor and I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I was having my baby soon. So, I was happy about that. I was happy that, this staff took me seriously, took, my concerns seriously, took my health seriously, and admitted me anyway, even if I wasn't ready to like deliver like on the spot. It's still, it's the fact that I was already in early labor 2 weeks before I'm supposed to deliver, and they took me seriously. They admitted me. They ran a lot of tests. They asked me a lot of questions. Even though the public exams um, were not pleasant to say the least, the fact that they took my concerns seriously really meant the world to me. And I really, honestly, I can say, like, it might be too early to say this in the video, but honestly, I love the labor and delivery staff. I had an amazing labor and delivery staff. Um, so that's that. And this is the end of part 2 of my series about my experiences with the hospitals. I really recommend anyone go to if you live in Maryland. I really recommend anyone going to University of Maryland Medical Center, and especially the labor and delivery staff, because they all work together really hard. And you know, the anesthesiologists, the doctors, the nurses, the midwives, like all of them were just great, and I love them so much. Like I just because and in probably my part 5 of my series, you'll probably see why I like love that this particular staff, because I did have to go back to University of Maryland Medical Center for a 2-week checkup postpartum. So you'll see that probably in part 4 or part 5, depending on how I'm breaking this down. But this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.